Metalholic, this is Rustin.
Rustin is Trevor.
Trevor Phipps from Unearth. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, you man?
I am doing excellent. I was sitting here, I had like 10 questions to ask you, and while I was waiting for the phone to ring, it just kept growing and growing and growing. I think I'm up to like 100 now, so yeah.
Keep them coming, man.
Yeah, I figure we'll start with the tough ones first, like are you a Velveeta or a Gouda man?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I like some sloppy nachos once in a while, so I guess I'll go Velveeta.
There you go. So 2011 looks like it's going to be a huge year for Unearth. You guys have got to be pretty excited right now.
Lots of good touring lined up. The feedback for the upcoming record's been unreal so far. So we're really stoked right now. So it seems all positive, and let's hope it keeps that way. You know.
Well, your fifth album, Darkness in the Light, lands in a few weeks. Now, you've said that you feel it's the band's strongest album since the oncoming storm. Perhaps your best yet. Why?
I think we brought all of our strengths to the table on this record. We have the heavy crushing songs. We have the speed that we were kind of lacking on the March. I do like the March, but we intentionally left that record a little more on the groove side. Mm-hmm. This record has the groove still, but we added the speed back that we had in the Eyes of Fire. But it has the songwriting from the March and the groove, the speed from Fire, and I think just the overall kind of the hooks that we had on Storm. So I think we just kind of put all three records together in a blender and wrote some more modern songs. And to me, it sounds really catchy. I can't really stop, playing the record, a couple of times a week, and I hadn't really done that since Storm. So you have to be a fan of your own songs. And that was something that Scott Ian said when I was a kid back in like 8th grade when they put up Persistence of Time, and that kind of always stuck with me. And I think that's really true. And I think when you actually write songs that you enjoy a lot, I think that means it's a winner.
Right. And it's a great album. I've been listening to it all week long. You said you weren't really happy with your vocals on the March. How so, and how did you approach the new album differently?
The March, I was happy enough with it to let it go, to actually put it out. But we did have more time constraints on that record. I don't think I was pissed off enough to be honest. I'm not really sure why, but I think that this time around I just had a bit more fire in my gut, and I just kind of went more balls out than I thought I could. And I think that I always give it, 110%, but for some reason there's just an inner flame that was really just kind of making this sound better for some reason. I found my voice better this time around than I did on the March, and I'm not really exactly sure why, but I definitely did.
But you'll take it, right?
Definitely take it, man, and I'm very happy with it.
And you got Ken to sing on this record. How'd that come about?
Well, he'd done singing on The Oncoming Storm. There was 3 songs on that record that he tracked on, and I wasn't really a big fan of it, of doing that stuff live. But a big staple in our set is a song called "Endless" that we actually wrote back in 2002. It seems to be a fan favorite, so we decided to kind of go back in that direction for 3 more songs on this record too, just to try to mix it up a bit. And to get back to your question from before about playing to all our strengths. We have the aggression, the speed, and the groove, but we also have that melodic stuff on a few songs just to try to round out this record. This is it's definitely a complete album. And I think adding Ken's vocals in there do kind of give it a tasteful melodic punch, which actually does make the stuff that comes after it even heavier. Like on the song, the lead track, Watch It Burn, it's a really blistering track, and then we get to that endless style section of vocals, and then we come in with a very heavy riff at the end, the breakdown-driven crowd pleaser. You know what I mean? So I think it really adds to parts where you have more peaks and valleys.
Right, it's almost like an extra instrument you're throwing in that sort of takes people by surprise.
Right on.
Cool. Go ahead.
No, that's cool, man. I was agreeing with you. Thank you.
Well, and you got Adam D. from Killswitch and Times of Grace producing again. Obviously, there's a strong musical chemistry there. Did he contribute anything other than the production duties to this record?
Play on the record? No, he's our producer, and I think he's he's been working with us for 10 years now. 2001 we tracked our first record, Stings of Conscience with him, and we've been friends with him, ever since. He actually filled in on drums for us back in 2003 for 2 weeks. So he's our longtime buddy. That's our fourth record with him, so he knows the band inside and out. It's just that chemistry's there, you know what I mean? So there's a bunch of stuff that goes, it's unspoken sometimes. You'll do something and he'll just shake his head, and then you have to do it again because you just know, like, all right, that wasn't the right performance, you know what I mean? And he also knows our sound, so that production value comes in where he can kind of give you pointers, like, all right, well, as a guy who knows your sound, I expect you would go here with the song, you know what I mean? So he's definitely the guy for us for production.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, he's done 4 of your 5 albums, and obviously you can't skip going with Terry Date on the other ones. So,
yeah, I mean that was a great experience too to work with Terry. It kind of gave us a different perspective of what these guys all do, and it was great to work with Terry, but it just kind of reinforced that the right guy for us is Adam D.
Right. Well, and you also have Mark Lewis mixing, I believe. He just finished up the new Black Dahlia Murder, so you're shooting on all cylinders there.
Yeah, Mark has some great mixes out there. Both him and Jason Sukoff down at Audio Hammer have a real good ear. You know what I mean? Those two guys, and so we just kind of wanted to tap into that and see what Mark had in mind for the mix of this record.
Derek Kurzweil is out, obviously. You got, instead of Adam this time sort of filling in, you got Justin Foley of Kill Switch to man the kit this time. What was that experience like?
It was great, man. I think he's very underrated as far as drummers go. He's very proficient with his skills. You know what I mean? He's just awesome, and I think his talents are kind of hidden with Killswitch because they're more of a straightforward band with their structures. He flashes here and there, but he's definitely an amazing drummer, and it worked out because he's so close and tight with Adam. We've been friends with him for a long time. And we actually wrote this entire record on a drum machine, sent him the parts and ideas, and he's kind of spiced them up when he was in the actual studio. So we actually never rehearsed the songs with him. He actually played them at his home and sent us tracks of him playing the tunes. And he nailed each song. So it was great to have him on board, and he's going to start the touring cycle with us too, because Killswitch is taking he's doing Mayhem with us, and then he's going to do our tour in Europe after that. Killswitch is taking a short break. I think they're going to reconvene. I can't speak on their behalf, but I know that Adam and Joel are in Times of Grace, and they're doing the tour in Australia with us, Soundwave. So I know that the band isn't going to be doing anything until at least then. And so we signed Justin on for the first 2 tours of the cycle, and we're psyched to have him.
That answered my next question. I was going to ask if you were taking a touring drummer this summer, if you expected to have the newest member of the band by then. So obviously this will give you a chance to take your time finding because the drum kit has sort of been a revolving door issue for the band. So hopefully this time you guys will find the guy that really connects with you long term.
We have a guy in mind, and we have a couple other guys that we're checking out. But there's a guy that we tried out in Alaska. We did 2 shows 3 weeks ago up in Alaska, and he nailed it. And we're taking him again later on this year to resume some more touring. And we can't say he's in the band yet because, just like you said, we've had kind of that open door. You know what I mean? It's like it's very Spinal Tap of us with drummers. And there's been reasons each time. For all 3 drummers we've had, there's been real reasons each time why we've had to let them go. And and we're hoping that we can find the guy that we're very happy with. You know what I mean? And we're thinking this guy, he could be the one, but we're not going to rush to judgment really too quickly,
Going to be a longer engagement this time.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I know everyone gave their all on this record, as they always do, but who in your mind really stretched themselves for this record and showed you something more?
I think Ken. I think Ken's kind of been, from our first 2 records, Stings and Storm, it was always, it was Buzz. But Buzz and Ken kind of did a bunch of bouncing, ideas off each other a ton. But I think the last 2 records, Ken didn't do it as much. I mean, he wrote, of course, but he didn't bring as much to the table as Buzz did. And I think this time around he kind of stepped up, and it was more like the olden days with him. And on top of that, he did actually step in to help produce and track some stuff, because Adam was away on tour with Times of Grace for some time, and so Ken did help track some vocals and some guitars. So he kind of helped out a ton on this record.
In the midst of all the anger and aggression on this record, there's sort of a point of stark beauty, perhaps tinged with a bit of despair. Tell us a little bit about Equinox.
That song was written to kind of break up the record, because we knew we had written a very blistering, fast, heavy record. And we just wanted to kind of break up that kind of vibe. It was much like we did on Storm with Aries. It did kind of give a breather, almost smack dab in the center of the record. You know what I mean? That piano's all done by Slow. This is our third record with Slow playing piano. That's actually what he learned on as a kid. So he's a pretty decent pianist, and so we kind of want to showcase that for him. And the song just came together, and he actually wrote the riffs to that song too. I think the only thing that he didn't write are the vocals and a couple of the guitar leads, and drums, of course. But yeah, that song I think it's a strong track. It's catchy, and the song is kind of dark in nature, so that kind of brought about the lyrics. And yeah, I guess I'll leave it at that.
That's a perfect segue, because I was about to say, you write some very aggressive and intense and often angry lyrical content. What were you passionate about when writing for the new album?
A bunch of stuff, man. I think we all go through some tough times during our time on this planet, and there's a lot to get pissed off about. And the past few years, a bunch has kind of built up with me. Whether it be friends passing, family passing, things that do seem unfair in life. It just kind of got to me, and I decided to kind of vent about it on this record. And that's where that title comes from. That's where the lyrics come from. We had a few different titles for the record, some more positive than this one, but this one it's a bit more simple, but it gets to the point, and it definitely touches on the lyrics better, because the album it is about sometimes it doesn't matter if there's a bunch of positive things happening around you. Sometimes you get so beat up that you kind of do focus on the dark times. You know what I mean? It's hard to break from that cage sometimes. You know what I mean? And that's what this record talks about. But there are songs of just trying to stay positive, like the song "Overcome," the song "Coming of the Dark." There's definitely there's parts in that say to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? Watch it burn! Rise on the